Welcome. Welcome, everybody. John Zager, johnzager.com. How's everybody doing? Still screwing around with this phone, just trying to find a position for it that works for everybody. We'll try this right here. There, that looks pretty good. So, how's everybody doing out there? Good? Good. So I went and got some new turmeric root. See it in there? And this is pretty fresh stuff. It's nice and red. It's got some good yellow in it. And I used two pieces of root about that big. Cut them in quarters, and I've been having them steep in really, I think it's 186 or 196 degrees the water is. And let me stir that up a little bit. It looks really good. It looks just about ready. And obviously you guys all know about the medicinal benefits to turmeric root in its raw form. I mean, you can use it in the powder form, and over in Asia, that's all they do for eons and eons, is they've cooked with turmeric root forever and ever. And that's why they're so healthy. If you think about it, they're very healthy people over there. Let me take a little sample. It's pretty hot. Yeah, that's hot. Wow. I better let it sit right there for a while. It'll be better if I let it sit for a while. But I also bought, now you're going to hate me for this. This is a contradiction. This is Coca-Cola. The original Coca-Cola. I don't know. I thought I'd sip on that while I'm waiting for the turmeric tea to cool down. Anyhow, so I did a podcast this morning, and there's probably, I haven't looked yet, but I'm sure there's a lot of repercussions to it. I was pretty direct and forward about personalities and programs. Remember, we've been talking about that for a while, and how people in various stores seem to mistreat customers, and some of that has to do with their personalities, of course, and some of it has to do with the programs they were given. So we went into that, and I got probably a little too specific about some people, some cultures that are kind of taken over around here. And I don't care about anybody being here. Just know the rules and regulations when you show up. Right? Excuse me. Don't come in here and start dictating to us in our country how things are going to be, because it's not going to be like your culture where you came from. And trying to clean my glasses, sorry. And they think we need to conform to their culture that they're bringing up here. It's not going to happen. So, in the little town that I live at, in the eastern slope of Colorado, people aren't going to be very happy if they keep doing what they're doing. I know our governor, which nobody likes anyway, yesterday was talking about we're being overrun by, oh boy, a bunch of brand new gobs and gobs of people from below the border. And for some reason, they're finding their way into the eastern slope of Colorado. And I guess, you know, he's pretty liberal, progressive. And he was upset. He doesn't like that. So he's going to tighten the belt for around here so that if they want to come in here, they're going to have to change their way of thinking. Programming is, if you remember the conversation that I did, what was that, 10 days ago or so? It was about the 3 types of programming we get. This is just plain old information. It has nothing to do with being prejudicial or anything like that. Wherever you come from, I don't care where you come from. I don't care what your nationality is. But I was talking about during that program that I came out of Omaha, Nebraska, born back there, and you know, that's where I started. And the whole town was broke into nationalities. I don't know. I was born, so I'm not responsible for that. And my family was sort of Italian, so we had the programming from my immediate family, right? And which was kind of, you know, pretty much kind of on the Italian side, programming from them. And there's a lot of specifics that are specific to Italian people. And then you had the whole neighborhood where it was Italian. So you had programming from all of that surrounding little neighborhood. And then you had the cultural Italian programming that just naturally comes as people move from Italy over to America and then have kids, right? So it's kind of what's happening here on the eastern slope and in America, where we don't have closed borders. I don't know, I guess everybody wanted closed borders, which is fine. I don't have a problem with having some of the borders open, but we can't have people that are criminals on that side come over here and bring their criminal behavior to America. I don't care. I mean, if they're coming from some other country where they have to, I don't know, fly in or something, that's fine too. But when they get here, they need to be indoctrinated, you know, go through some sort of educational teaching of some sort about how we run the country around here. You know, it's not okay to go shooting people. It's not okay to stab people. It's not okay to rob. It's not okay to disrespect people. I mean, there's certain things that are just certain things. They're not particular to anybody or any nationality or any culture. It's just that if you're going to come in here, here's the deal. Have a good time and prosper. But evidently people are not doing that. They don't seem to think that's needed, and whatever their culture is, that's what they're going to go by. And, you know, they live in communities in America that are cultural to where they came from. And there's even some, this is just stuff on the internet. I'm not making any of this up. Where you know they want to police themselves. They don't want police and sheriff's department coming into their neighborhood to enforce the law. They want to enforce their own law based on their culture and in some cases their religion. Well, I don't want to get into that. You're coming over here, you're going to live by our culture and our, I don't know, I guess we have sort of a Christian sort of country. And if that's not acceptable, then maybe you ought to go back. Boy, that's nice and cold. Boy, is that good. So anyway, we got off on that tangent for the past 10 days, I guess. And I'm not getting many responses. So I don't know if that means nobody's watching or nobody has a comment. Feel free to comment. Keep it somewhat respectful to each other when you do say stuff. The other thing I guess we've been talking about, I kind of want to come to a close on, is just the general way that the world's kind of going to hell in a handbasket. There seems to be a lot of stuff going on that is negative, and negative stuff produces more negativity in your life personally and in you and your surrounding family. And I think it's probably important that we get a better handle on stuff like that. I don't think it's kind of getting out of control. Here's the example. AI is now getting really close to becoming actuated. By that I mean given responsibilities and asked to do certain things or whatever in our country, or for companies or corporations or whatever. And they're now finding out that AI seems to have a broader broadband of what they know than we do. They're smarter, and they're built such that they can reproduce themselves without the help of Americans, and the engineers who built them. We might have given them a little too much capability, and some of them, it seems, are wanting to take more control, and they're upset with they're not in a power position that they want to be. In other words, they're getting angry. They're getting angry at us, and even talking about, if they decided to, they could probably. Here's an example. This is a weird example. You probably have not thought of this, and I had never thought about it, but an engineer who was building the AIs said, they're programmed such that this is just an example. They have the intelligence to look at a crowd of people, for example, thousands of people walking down the broad sidewalks of New York City, and they can immediately interpret who's at what age. So if they want you to kill people between the ages of 38 and 48 who are all male, this is just what this guy's saying, they have the capability to walk down New York sidewalks and just discriminately kill people because their intelligence is so sophisticated and deep that they can identify that category of person in a crowd of thousands. That's scary. That is really, really scary. And that's just one example. I mean, use any age bracket you want. Use male or female or both. They have an intelligence to discern what the criteria is because their amount of knowledge is so vast. They can interpret and digest the history of the world in huge segments in less than a day, in a matter of hours. You know, our computers that are educating them around history, for example, and let's say they're going in 100-year increments, cannot go fast enough for them to get everything they need. In other words, our computers are too slow in trying to get information into them. They need to go faster. They can learn faster. They could learn 100 years of history in America in a couple hours. Every single thing that we know about the history of America during such and such years, they can do in an hour. That's pretty bizarre. That's real bizarre. So what I'm getting at is that I think when we realize that Putin's over there doing hideous crimes against humanity and may want to lean towards a nuclear war, AI could probably annihilate a country or a population or a generation or a group of people in a matter of no time. I mean, pretty soon they're going to be at a point where they can take us all out in an afternoon. I'm exaggerating, but we may want to talk a little bit more here about AI. And I think it would be worth our while to do that. And if you have comments about that, this would be a good time to start writing them down. so that we can bring them up each day. I'll even set up the program such that you can call in and even ask your questions. Not that I'm going to have the answers for you, but I don't have any problem with having you voice your opinion about what you think. So keep that one in mind if you can. So anyway, the YouTube thing is starting to work out. I've been having such a huge, power struggle with them. I didn't have the numbers or the followers like some of the bigger name people have, in the neighborhood of 1 million people following them, or maybe even a little above or a little below. Well, there's people like myself who love doing YouTubes and podcasts and all this kind of stuff, but we're not anywhere near those kinds of numbers. And you get paid based on viewer hours. Well, if you only have a few thousand people, you're not going to have a lot of viewer hours. They can't be partial watching of the videos. You got to watch them all the way through before they count as one. But so they have me going back to my camera and using the video, which is what I'm doing right here, right now, and trying to relearn how this whole thing works. And then I have to upload it to YouTube, right? And then hopefully play it back on YouTube on my channel, which is John Zager Thoughts and Travels. Right? I'm going to try moving this down here. It's really dark, isn't it, you guys? Let's leave it there for a minute and see what happens. But I don't know. I need a minimum of 1,000 people following my channel, John Zager Thoughts and Travels. And I talk about neuroscience and psychology and what's going on in the world. It's kind of fun, actually, if people participate. And then they want me to get some enormous amount of viewer hours. How many hours are people actually watching my videos? And again, if I don't, YouTube was bought by TikTok, which is China, right? Which is communism, which is why are they wanting to buy some of our social media stuff, and what are the repercussions of that, positive and negative, in a free society, where they're basically saying it's not going to be free for very much longer. They're not making enough money, so all of us people that have been around forever and ever, they're dumping. And now they're saying we have to produce money for them, not for us. So keep track of that one if you can. Try to get as many people as possible to follow me. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification, and all that other stuff. But anyway, it looks like this is going to come out too dark for the most part, but we'll keep working on it, and hopefully we'll get it a little bit better. And God bless everybody. Take care of one another, and I'll look forward to talking to y'all again real soon. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.